Once upon a time in a land scorched by the fierce summer sun, there lived a crow named Kael. Kael wasn't just any crow. He was observant, thoughtful, and curious. He had flown over forests and villages, seen storms and sunshine, but never had he faced a thirst like this. The sky was painted in shades of burning orange. The trees stood lifeless, their leaves brittle, whispering dry songs in the wind. The rivers had shrunk into cracked beds of mud, and even the smallest puddles had vanished into dust. Kael had been flying for hours. His wings were heavy, his throat dry. He tried to call out a call, but no sound came. Just the wind, howling, alone. Voice softens as he soared through the hot air. He thought about giving up. But something inside him whispered, "You have come this far, Kael. Don't stop now. Don't stop now." He flew over fields where nothing grew anymore. He saw people sitting under the shade of tired trees, fanning themselves, eyes half closed in the heat. But no water, not even a drop. Still, Kael pressed on. He remembered the stories his mother had told him when he was a little hatchling, sitting in the nest. Stories of survival, of finding light in darkness, of hope, even when all seemed lost. And Kael believed in hope. Just as wings began to falter, he saw something, a glint, below near an abandoned cottage at the edge of a dried-up orchard. It was a clay pot, worn out, cracked, but it was standing. Kael's heart beat faster. Could it be? Could fate really be that kind? He swooped down and landed carefully on the rim of the pot. His eyes sparkled. There it was, water. Not much, but enough. Enough to live, enough to keep going. He leaned in, but the water was far too low. His beak couldn't reach it. Kael tried to tip the pot. It was too heavy. He pecked at the edge. No use, he screamed out in frustration, but only silence answered. And then he sat still, closed his eyes, listened not to the world, but to himself. Think, Kael, think. There must be a way. He opened his eyes and looked around. And there, scattered across the dry ground, were pebbles, small, simple, forgotten, but suddenly powerful. One by one, Kael picked them up with his beak and dropped them into the pot. Plop, 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 plop. Each stone sank, and the water, ever so slightly, began to rise. Plop, plop. It took time. It took effort. It took belief. But Kael kept going. His wings trembled. His throat burned. The sun scorched his feathers, but Kael never stopped. More stones, more hope, and the water kept rising, higher, closer, within reach. Until finally, a moment of magic. The water kissed the edge of the pot. Kael leaned in and drank. Slowly, gratefully, deeply. It was the sweetest taste he had ever known. Not just of water, but of victory. He looked up at the sky. The same sky that had burned him now seemed to shine with pride. Kael spread his wings, filled with new strength, and soared upward, not just to fly, but to rise above fear, above doubt, above limits. And as he flew, he knew this was not just a story of thirst. This was a story of never giving up. Dear listener, life will throw dry days at you. You will feel tired. You'll feel like giving up. But remember Kael. Remember the crow who didn't stop. When things seem out of reach, when your voice dries in your throat, when the world feels too heavy, pause, breathe, think. Your mind is your strongest wing. Your patience is your greatest power. And even the smallest pebble can change your fate. So keep going. Drop your stones, raise your water, and drink from the cup of your own courage. Because you, yes, you, are more powerful than you know.